Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to test out Raysin 250 by Raysin. I've never seen this product before, but apparently it's a ultra-strong and durable casting medium, and the only color they had was black. I don't know if it comes in other colors, but since this was the only one, I decided to pick it up. And the name Raysin also sounds similar to Raysin, so I'm kind of curious how this is. I'm following the instructions on the back, which says it's a 4:1 ratio of water to powder, and 4:1 looks very small. The amount of water you need seems to be very, very little for the amount of powder, so I'm curious to see how this works. And it looks like the powder just melts right into the water and becomes super pourable. One thing I noticed is that it's definitely bubbling quite a lot. Kind of like plaster, but a little bit different. It reminds me more of that kind of plaster we got in the Sophie and Toffee tile box that we made with the tiny tiles that we used to make the coasters with, and I think it was the June Outsbox last year or something where that was. Anyway, it definitely feels very similar. I needed to mix it up in 2 batches because I don't have any larger cups, and I'm excited to see how this cleans up. It seems like the powder, once it hasn't set, is completely wipeable with water, and once it sets you should be able to pull it off. I'm just not sure with which materials it will bond. Anyway, I poured it, and then I did the same thing that I always like to do with plaster. I'm just vibrating and shaking the mold up a little bit to pop a lot of the bubbles. It looks kind of like it's sparkling a bit, but all of that is just bubbles rising. And this is after a bit longer than what I recommended. It was quite humid here, so it's no surprise that it would take a bit longer. And it definitely left some weird residue in the mold, but the cast itself looks really clean and it feels super sturdy. I'm putting a lot of pressure here, and it definitely feels like it has the same strength as the Sophie and Toffee one. Now the backs have some weird texture. The reason I poured this slab is because I wanted to test the effect of picking things up, and as you can see, it kind of picked a little bit of the rainbow holographic effect from the mold, but not really too much at all, so it's not really good for casting these really, really, really intricate details. And as you can see, it's not really shiny even from the other mold, so I guess it is just a bit too rough to pick up really fine textures. Of course, I needed to test how well it bonds with resin, so I'm just pouring some glitter and gold mix just in some normal clear resin. And then I wanted to do something larger, so I 3D printed a flower pot, and I made a very wobbly layered on silicone mold that I'm going to make sturdier with some inside aluminium foil and the plant pots itself to support it, and hopefully it shouldn't bend out too much. I didn't really want to print anything extra to make it sturdy, so it's gonna be a bit deformed, but it shouldn't be too awful. And then, since I didn't want to go just basic, I added some of these gold flakes too, and I'm curious to see if this material picks it up. And this took 3 rounds of pours, and in between I made sure to shake it up and let all the air bubbles escape and to agitate it a little bit. And normally it shouldn't take that long to cure, but I let this sit for 24 hours and then I felt like it was sturdy enough. One thing I immediately noticed was that the edges are weirdly crumbly. The rest of the material seems to have hardened perfectly, it's very sturdy, as you can see by me having trouble unmolding this. But the bottom edge, for some reason, where the air bubbles escape, is so crumbly and it stains my hands. I don't know what happened. Maybe all the air bubbles rising interfered with the material curing, but it stains and all that, and it's not really nice. It's a sandy texture, a weird dirt texture. So I'm going to try and fix that by pouring on some water around this, and I hope the material will soak it up a bit more, just so it like cures a bit cleaner. I noticed that the recommended curing time is more of like a when it's actually hardened than when it's actually dried, kind of like plaster. So I just in the end basically dabbled on some water and poured it on directly. It shouldn't really do anything to the other material that has been cured already. It should just soak into the stuff that didn't set properly, hopefully. And then it should hopefully not crumble anymore. So far with all the tests I did, like on the coasters, first of all the resin bonded to it really well. It's really in there, which is super nice, so you can do like multi-effect layered kind of pours with this stuff and resin. And I tried like on the cured paths after like a day or so, I tried to use some water, sprinkle it on, let it sit and rub my finger on it, and none of the color came off. So I think what happened with the plant pot was just purely an issue with the bubbles rising and maybe like creating too large of a gap in between the material and making it like weird. Anyways, here you can see the final results and I'm pretty happy with them. It was more of an experimental pour, but the plant pot is definitely usable, and after I poured water on it and then let it sit for like another 3 days, it stopped crumbling on the underside. I wiped off like the excess and all that, and it worked pretty well. Even the deformities aren't too bad. Like I could just easily make some stabilizing like outer cast or something with plaster. But since this was more of a one-time use and I didn't really want to waste material, this is more than okay, and it fits my plants perfectly. And I'm surprised how well the gold leaf sticks on there. It's kind of like in resin, it's like really embedded. So I think for, this kind of plaster is like very good for like bubbles and like plates, any kind of display thing. I don't know how it performs out in constant rain, but so far with like any water getting on there, anything, I didn't have any problems about it rubbing off or anything at all. I have not tested rubbing it on like rougher surfaces to see, but I think it might, like if you put it on stone and rub a little bit on it, it might stain. But I haven't noticed any like marks on my tables yet. So I think this material is a pretty sturdy and good casting material. Definitely, as I said, very similar to the stuff we got in the Sophie and Toffee box. And I think you could probably make like some terrazzo or like tile decoration pieces with this as well, since it's that sturdy. And you just have to pick up the like tiling grout and some tiles for this, so kind of like we got in the Plaster Perfect box, as I said. So definitely a very interesting material, and I will probably use it for some more projects. And I was actually surprised to see that I still have a lot left. This was the small bag of just 1 kilogram, and I poured that giant plant pot, and I still have enough left for like maybe a couple coasters, like 5 to 6 coasters of the variety that I put the gold flecks in. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below, did you try this material before? Have you seen it before or something similar? And what would you pour with it, like home decor items, or would you mix it with resin or something? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye bye!